water change day. On this system, I usually do like 2 gallons a week, just because it's easy for me. Got the two bucket method, 5-gallon buckets. It's usually a little more than 2 gallons, like maybe 2 1/4, 2 1/2. But I'll mix water, pre-mix water, have it set up so that I have it set for around 2 weeks in my bucket. Those go in my laundry room, which is like right on the other side of the hallway. Usually what I do is I just do a quick magnet clean. Got a little snail in there, it sounds like. Yeah, a couple of them actually. Quick little clean. Make sure you get all the, as much as you can anyway. Oh, we got another snail in there. And I'm going to do a final clean after I do the water change itself. Usually I do this every couple days anyway, but go around and do that. On to the cleaning part. Gravel vac, regular siphon. I gravel vac last week, so I'm not going to gravel vac again. I usually skip a week if I can, just so that I don't disturb too much of the sand bed. That could be where a lot of my phosphates are that I'm having issues with, but I don't want to suck up all of the beneficial bacteria and stuff that's inside the sand. So I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse so that you can see how it goes. And just like that, it's all done. This week was a super easy change. It was just basically take water out, put water in. Did have to clean the algae reactor, get that stuff out to get rid of the chaeto that was built up. Other than that, pretty simple maintenance on this one this week. Next week I'll do like graveling the sand bed and graveling, vacuuming the sand bed, maybe clean up the power head, and I should probably take my return and my pump that feeds the algae reactor out and clean those as well. It's probably been about a month, I'd say, since the last time I cleaned them, and they do tend to get gunked up pretty clean, and I like to keep them, running at optimal performance. So as you can see, it's cloudy, it's ugly, but within an hour or so it's going to be looking perfect again. So, and by perfect I mean the water's going to be nice and clear. It does look great. I don't think the tank doesn't look great, but there's a couple things that I want to change, and I'm working on those slowly but surely. Being such a small system, you got to take it really, really slow, because a lot of things can happen very quickly. Things you don't want to mess up, So, nutrient swings, they're quick. Alkalinity swings, they're very quick. But figured I'd do you guys a little quick video. Nothing crazy. Again, it's not. This system is. I don't want to say it's easy, because nothing in this hobby is really technically easy. I mean, they all have their challenges, but this little nano tank is something to really look into if you want to start keeping a reef tank, a fish only tank, anything like that. I've seen another YouTuber, can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was talking about how, you know, a lot of the old school guys is bigger is better, and it's easier to keep stuff stable. And I do have to agree that bigger in a way is more stable. I'm not going to say it's better. A lot of people that get into this hobby don't have the deep pockets that those people do, and I'll say deep pockets because, you know, you're talking just regular salt maintenance wise. You go through a few buckets of salt every year. One bucket of reef crystals will last me at least a year on this tank, no problem. That's doing 2-gallon water changes every week. Keeping up on the maintenance, keeping it as stable as possible. But I honestly do think that nano tanks, and that's something I've always kept. I've never had anything bigger than 40 gallon, and it was a 40-gallon breeder. And I really truly think that nano tanks are what will make you a great hobbyist, because you can't let stuff slide you can't take a week off from doing something because things, you know, happen so quickly. Keeps you up on your maintenance, and, you know, with a little bit of time, the tank looks very full, grown out. You know, if I still had a 40 breeder, even with all these corals in there, it would look bare after a year, even with this kind of growth that I've had. But I highly suggest, you know, if you're into fish tanks and want to dabble into the saltwater hobby, that you pick up a nano, you get your toes wet, and then if you decide that you want something big, do that route. But it's not, bigger is not always better when it comes to fish tanks. And I'll be honest, these are, in my mind, very easy to keep. They're not super hard. You just stick to your maintenance and you do it every week like clockwork, and that's it. But if you guys have any questions about the tank, how I do things, you know, just shoot me a message. Like I had in my video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I am working on my phosphates, on lowering those. So I have a small amount of GFO in the back, sticking with my water changes, but water changes don't really help phosphates that much. But the GFO in the back, I still have my algae reactor on there, and virtually zero nitrates, which doesn't really bother me, but I do want to get the phosphates down because I'm thinking that coral's a little brown up top, my acro, and my Monty is gone pale. It's starting to get its color back now, but it had gone pale, so I'm in the process of trying to bring those down just to get my numbers, you know, right, correct, or at least closer. Right now they're pretty far off with 0 and like 0.2 phosphates, which is not where I want to be, especially with acros. Even though the acros look good, it's my Monty that looks like crap. So, but yeah, if you guys get any questions, you know, just hit me up in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.